All right. I think I'm still waiting. See if it comes. I heard it on your end, but not my end.
It's recording.
Okay. Okay, so welcome to the case study room. Lance was supposed to be with me, but he was unable to tonight. So Lance is a really good friend. He is also a Google trainer. So if you guys have any questions or need feedback, you can reach out to Lance or myself as well. And we co-lead a podcast together, and we have on Google trainers and innovators and just have fun talking about Google. And I am, I guess I should also introduce myself a little bit. I'm an instructional technology coordinator in Pickerington, Ohio, and I am addicted to Twitter. So feel free, again, if you guys have questions, DM me there, or I can put my email address, and I'm happy to give any feedback or provide any other resources that you might need. So right here, everything's kind of hyperlinked in the slides. So right here is application tips. And if you click it, there are some tips in here that you can look through that might help you throughout the process. And you can just kind of look at it and see like your links. Well, they must be viewable. So you have to make sure that any links that you share, they're viewable for anyone that can view. Same thing with like uploading anything, make sure it's not expired and that kind of stuff. Make sure your video is 3 minutes or less. And they're very strict on a lot of this. So just make sure you do follow these tips or tricks. We're going to talk about like drafting your responses in a Google document, sharing with a friend to look over, and then link viewable for anyone with the link can view. Again, that's so important. And if it says to include a link, make sure you include a link. So I want you guys to kind of think about a training you have led. What made it really good, what materials were provided, and what feedback was given from participants. Anyone want to share a training that they've seen or led?
I can share. I did Google Forms training, and the way I did it as a level up. So they just completed tasks, and for each task they got a badge for each task, and that's what I did. I gave them a survey, and it was I got positive feedback. However, when I submitted my Google Certified Trainer, they said that I should go a little bit more in depth with the survey questions. So that's what I'm doing now.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Francis, where are you at in the process?
I'm not ready to submit yet. I mean, I kind of am, but I've just got so many things on that I'll probably submit it round about Easter when I've got 2 weeks off work. So that'll give me some time to get everything sorted and get it in.
Yeah. It's a long process. And it's funny, like, it took me a while to submit it just because I'm like, there's so many pieces. Yeah. And so right here, if you guys want to, right here, I put the case study in a Google document. It's kind of how I worked. So I just copied and pasted the application, put it in a Google document, and then I bolded like keywords for you. So like the first question, please describe a single training for your case study. How do you demonstrate how you use the tool? How did you show attendees effective and efficient ways to integrate this tool in the classroom? So again, you're talking about one training. You're also going to talk about how you demonstrated the use of the tool. So if it was Google Forms, you're walking through like, how did you get them to level up? What did you do? What steps did you take? Show your attendees the effective and efficient ways. So making sure that you show them how you can use Google Forms in the classroom, maybe with quizzes and turning on that feature and having it auto grade is kind of what they're looking for in question 1. And then what actions did you take to engage the adult learners in your training? So again, they're looking for that engagement. Did you have them do some type of activity? Did you have them ask questions? Were there poll questions, that kind of stuff? Also, how did you differentiate? So if it sounded like Alex did a level up, it might have had like this simple skill in Google Forms of just like adding a couple questions to where you might go deeper and having your learners maybe do something with response validation. So really taking it and differentiating it to fit every single learner's needs. So make sure you talk about the low, middle, high. Provide links to at least your training materials, at least one. So this would be like a Google slide deck. It could be a website. It could be a Google document, any videos. So they want to see what material did you make. So for this, I included like a slide deck that I did for my training when I did this application. And then right here's the feedback one. So link to feedback you received after the training. I suggest with the 5 case studies, you have to do 5 different trainings and they have to have at least 5 people. So when you do those, I would give feedback to all 5 and then pick which one it has the best feedback to submit. And so right here, make sure that the training has been within the year. So if it's been like 5 years, that does not count. And if you, Google Form is what I use for my feedback, so it will timestamp, so they do look at that. And then you'll want to really look at the feedback, and they want qualified data and quantified. So they want both types of different data to look at how are you doing with it, and then what kind of data is coming from there that you can make to improve. And I have a couple forms that you guys can look at as well to help with that piece. And again, you only have to submit one, but I would suggest doing it for all 5 trainings that you do with the case study, just because sometimes you might forget, and then you're like, oh crap, now I got to figure out what I'm going to do. Which I do often with like the global channel. I always forget to ask for feedback. Number 5 is when you review the feedback from the attendings, I always try to think about how would you improve that training. So when you look at their feedback and maybe they said, you went really fast. Let me go ahead and allow this person to come in. So if they said you went really fast, maybe just say, next time I would go slower. Next time I would do station rotation. Next time I would whatever, just so they can kind of know like what will you be doing to improve based on the feedback. And then again, make sure any of your links are viewable. So that is like huge. So this is right here if you want to, and I'm going to put it in the chat for our new person that just joined. So feel free to make a copy and write all over that document. And because it saves in the application, it's just not a nice editable like document. Okay. And there are just some feedback Google Forms. So if you click any of these, they should force a copy. And again, feel free to use any of these forms if you want, or you can mix them together, or you can create your own. But this is kind of what they're looking for. So right here, I've got the rate the trainings. So on a scale of 1 to 5, rate the trainings. How much did you learn? How much did you grow as a result? So these are going to be data that the like you and Google, as you're submitting this, can look at. And then right here is they also want that qualified data. So what was great about the training? How could the training improve? So they want a mix of both numbers and words from the guests that are watching your training. What did you have on your form, Alex?
I had let me go to the form.
And then this is while you're looking for that. This one is also, again, number scales. And then down here, I have more open-ended questions. So what was the most useful part? What was the least useful part? What was any additional training or support you need? And again, they're looking for both types of data. And that's on slide 6. So feel free to just click the links and then you can make a copy and use as you feel like you might need.
All right. Skills assessment. Survey. Geez, that's interesting. I didn't get it. Let me go to my.
And while Alex is looking for that, did anyone else have any questions right now with any of the requirements? But basically for the case study, like just to recap, make sure you're showing a single training when you talk about the question one. Make sure you differentiate your training, and then make sure you use some type of material that you're able to share, and then feedback. So that's the like 4 things is show the tool, engage and differentiate, provide links to some type of materials, and then get feedback. So those are like basically the 4 things that you'll need to do.
So yeah, so the one that I had was so mine was more like the survey that I had was more. You want me to share my screen with you?
Yeah, feel free. Let me go ahead and stop presenting. And make sure you reapply if you don't get in the first time. There's so many people that don't get in that first time because you're like, what are they really looking for here? So take the feedback they give you and just resubmit.
Yeah, this is going to be my third. How many? Do they have a limit?
I don't think so.
Yeah, this is going to be my third submission.
Okay. Yeah.
So this is a survey that I had, G Suite training. So how do you rate the training? Did your trainer, let me make this bigger. Have a grasp. So this is what I'm asking about me.
Mm-hmm.
So the way I do training is through Tech Bites.
Okay.
To the workshop, So he had the questions, and then they rated me that way.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I'll adapt yours, and so I think I'm just gonna have a look at yours, and then adapt it to mine to yours.
Okay. Yeah, I think you're probably looking for a little bit more like written from the attendees.
Okay.
That's what I would assume. I'm not sure because like where you said additional questions, I don't know how many people filled out that part. Like whenever I ask that questions, my teachers leave it blank.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's the same for you, but like every time I do that, it's like 1 out of 20 fill it out.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. And then these are just some other questions people had. So what type of sort of questions should I ask in my feedback? So just here again are just the same examples that I pasted above. This one is from Luis. He did an autocrat survey or session. And Luis is like crazy, but I would not submit this one for your Google trainer, but I just thought it was really cool. So I thought I would share it because once you fill it out, the people get an autocrat response with how they filled out their survey.
Okay.
What'd you say?
No, I was just repeating what you were saying. Like when you fill it out, you also get an autocrat based on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, that's not required for this. It was just an example.
Okay.
Yeah. And then do you have recommendations for what a case study should be based on? And so just think of a training or a program that you've attended that has been really beneficial, and then use that for your evidence. Okay. And make sure it's Google. Someone like there's so many people that do like Edpuzzle or Kahoot. Yeah, make sure it is a Google product because this one will kill you if you do something not Google. And I know people that do it. Yeah, and you don't have to do something difficult. It can be as simple as like Google Slides. It does not have to be like something creative and like super innovative. It can be really simple. I've also heard like people get, they try to think of like app smashing and then they don't get in because it's not focused like on Google. which is like crazy to me because you think they would want that innovative mindset. And then here, how many people should it train? Make sure you get at least 5. And on that feedback form, make sure it's at least 5 people. Becoming a Google trainee, you get added to a intense Google group, and the emails are crazy. It's overwhelming, but it's also a really good community because you can go in and ask a question and you always will get some type of answer, or I'm having this issue. Yes, I am too. So it's like that, you know, like building up your confidence to know you're not alone and that there's an issue with Google Classroom right now. It's down because of whatever reason. So you do get that. There's different perks. So we also get some free like ed tech company yearly memberships, or we get lifetime memberships just for being a trainer. So that's really nice. Like Screencastify gave free licenses to Google trainers. So that's really a good perk. Also the confidence that you build from having that community and being able to present at different conferences. Also, because it's like COVID still, people are talking about like, how do I do a session virtually? I would say like use that chat feature, ask different questions, use StreamYard, make it interactive as much as you can, share examples. You could also use Google Meet. Feel free if you want to present with Global. I put in our form if you want to present with us. We would love to have you, and there's so much support here on this one question. You can put like, I need help creating a graphic. I need help on social media, like posting. I need help with Q&A during the session. StreamYard, I would like someone to co-present with me. So if you do need that support, we are happy to have you. We also have like a premium StreamYard account. If you don't want to use the free version or you just want some help, we are here to support you as well. All we ask is that Google form gets filled out. And then right here is, if you're on the skills assessment, just check out that Teacher Center. They have a really good resource to help you with that skills assessment. If you need help tracking your trainings, once you become a trainer, you can fill out this Google form with just to keep all your trainings up to date. So that, because you do have to have 10 every single year. So once you get in, this is what you need to look for. But right now, don't focus on that. That's just there if you want it later once you do get in, because we know you're going to.
So just to be clear, it could be a one-to-one training with somebody, right?
Not for the case study, but after you get in.
But after you get certified, if somebody asks you a question about Google Meet or a feature about Google and stuff like that, that does count as a training, single training.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, but not for the case study. So just remember 5 people.
Case study. Okay.
Yeah, I just want to clear that up.
Because one of my concerns was keeping up the certification. I thought that you had to do 12 trainings a year until somebody clarified and said that you could show somebody how to use a feature on Gmail and that can count as a training.
And it doesn't even have to be live. Your YouTube video, like say you make a YouTube video and you record it not live, that counts.
Okay.
So you can count that. If you're on a podcast talking about Google, that counts. So it can look very
What about attending GEG and participating in GEG? How will that count?
If you're leading, like,
do you have to be a presenter or I can be a participant at some level?
You would have to be a presenter.
Okay.
Yeah. And you could co-lead the session with somebody. You don't have to do it alone. I would find, like, you could be a panelist.
Okay.
Where there's like 5 different presenters presenting about something. You could come help Leslie on one of these sessions where she's helping Google trainers. That counts as a one of your 12 events.
Got it.
Yeah, like there's so many different ways that you can get those 12. That makes it really nice. So like I do a weekly blog, and so I could count all of those videos if they're about Google towards that certification.
Okay.
Yeah, so usually it's not a problem getting it, and you're always welcome if you need those 12 hours to present with Global. We will take anybody.
Got it. Yeah, because that was the main hesitation that I had. That okay, yes, because I've done it. Like I told you, I've done everything. It's just a survey that was. They said that I need to add more stuff to it. But I was like, okay, if you get a certified trainer, and I don't do any trainings for the year that deal with Google, like how do I keep my certification? But then somebody told me that you can do it different ways. So as long as there are many options to keep my certification, I'm good with that.
Yeah, there's a ton, and I think too, COVID helped with that because like just allowing them more of doing podcasts, doing YouTube, doing all these things. Like I really think COVID helped that.
What about does it count with students? K-12.
That I'm not for sure.
Okay.
We can let's ask Leslie when we go back to the main room.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm not for sure. And I think it would count if you helped like parents. I would think.
So if I have like a website that has links to I create videos and put it on the website.
Yeah, and then what I would typically do, because on the Google, because there's it's called the activity app. And once you get approved as a trainer, that's where you log all your trainings. And it asks how many people attended. And that's where you would go into your YouTube views and look at how many people watched that video.
Got it.
And then that's what you would put.
Or like a Loom video, if I do a video.
Yeah.
How many?
Yeah. You can also do, I think, blog post count.
Okay.
So if you typed up directions and did all that kind of stuff, like parents, here's how you check your kid, or whatever. But we'll ask about students because I'm not for sure about that answer.
Okay.
And then once you're ready to submit, you'll go to this link and you will submit all of your evidence for the Google Trainer.
Okay.
Yeah. Any other questions that you guys have? Or anything else you might need?
How long have you been a trainer?
How long have I?
Yeah.
Let's see here, 3 years ago.
Oh.
And then once you become a trainer, the way that you recertify is having those 12 trainings, and then they send you a Google form quiz with any new updates that happen just to make sure you still know how to use all of Google.
Yeah.
But that quiz is usually really easy. If you use Google, if you use it in your district and you use it every day, it should be pretty easy. I think next year what will be on the test is can Google Forms, save drafts? Because that's going to be a new feature that comes out with this Learning with Google updates. Can you end meeting for all in Google Meets? Those type of questions that because you're in the community and you're helping people. So the quiz is not very hard compared to the trainer assessment. And again, you meet a lot of really cool people. They're always throwing out when it's conference season, hey, if you want to present at this conference or attend for free, here's all the information. And it's been a lot more this year because of COVID and everything's virtual. And you can also get your training sessions that way by just presenting at a conference.
Yeah, because I was going to ask the question virtually. So if I decide to do, because of COVID, I decided to do a case study. So for example, do the new features of Google Meet or something like that. Do I have to do for the case study? Do I have to do do I have to record? How would I talk about it and give them and have a recording and then give them a link to the recording, or how would
So there is one where you do need to record, but not for the case study. So if you've already passed that in your application, I would just use that same
case study.
Yeah, but for the case study, all you have to do is describe it.
Okay.
And so on here, the only links you need to do is
describe it. Okay.
Yep, just describe it. And then all the links you need is the training material. So that could be your Google site. It could, in your Google site, if you do a Google site, I know some people do all their resources on there. So they'll put their slide deck, any additional, a Wakelet. You could embed a video if you wanted, but it's not like a required.
Okay.
You could submit other videos. You can't like it. They just need one thing. So I submitted like a Google slide.
Okay.
And then you just need to link feedback. So that Google Sheet will have to be linked.
Okay.
And make sure you have at least 5 people on that Google Sheet.
Okay.
And then that's all they need for the case study. There are, there is one like a video, 3-minute video that you have to do. Did you do that part?
Yeah, I did that.
And don't you train in the video, like a real quick trading something?
Yeah, but the case study is different from the video.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I did. My case study is different. My video is different from what I did for the case study.
Yeah. They're supposed to be different.
Yeah.
So that's like where you're demonstrating the skill, where the case study, you're just explaining another training.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
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 We don't come back in the main room yet. So
yeah, because right now I'm still trying to figure out, because I gave this training last year, or I think I gave that training 2019. So I'm trying to figure out how to reissue give back this, have them do the survey over again for training they did in like 2019.
Yeah.
Like, in a very, I'm in a very weird spot. Because I have to send an email like, hey guys, remember we did Google Forms? Yeah, like about a year or so ago plus. Did you fill out the survey form? So that's fun to navigate. But, yeah.
Do you have any other trainings coming up?
Yes, but it's not Google specific.
Gotcha.
I'm doing like you know how you guys have the SmackDown?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm doing kind of like a what do you guys call it? App SmackDown or something like that. I'm doing that for the school, so it's not Google centric, so I can't.
Gotcha.
So I have to figure a way to talk to my I'll figure something out this weekend.
Yeah, you could email them and just say, hey, can you fill out this other form? This is a recap of what we did, if you remember.
No, because the good thing is that I've actually used Google Forms. So hopefully they can remember what the training was, and then they can give good feedback in terms of how they've used it and stuff like that. So yeah. And another thing is that I work for a really small school, so we have 8 teachers. 8 teachers. So I'm just I'll have to buy them lunch or something. Just
that is a small school.
What?
That's really small.
Yeah. It's we're pre-K 6.
Okay.
One teacher per grade.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'll buy them lunch or something. I don't know.
Yeah. They will probably love that. You can also present with Global if you need feedback as well.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah. So
I know it's a little more than 8 people though, so I don't know if you're up for the challenge.
I only need 7 people to give me feedback. You know.
Yeah.
No, we're a supportive community. You know.
Usually we have like 200 views on most videos. So.
I like the GG. Actually, the SmackDown, the app, whatever. I'm actually copying from you guys.
Okay.
It was kind of corny, like the whole wrestling thing, but I was like, that's not a bad idea.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a lot of work to plan.
Yeah, and that's the thing that I'm finding out is how to do it, because I'm debating whether to have them do videos, pre-recorded videos for like 5 minutes, or do it live. But then the relay, that if I have the slide deck and then do they present, and then I have to figure that part out.
I would put all the slides in one deck.
Yes, but the thing is, I want them to go to the app and show navigation and stuff like that.
Are
Like,
you using Google Meet, or what are you using?
Yeah, I'm using Meet.
Meet.
So
I would just have them share their screen.
okay, so that kind of like that relay, like I have the slide deck and say, hey, go ahead and present on your screen.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I was leaning toward.
Because the first one we used Zoom.
Yeah.
Because we had so many presenters, and we wanted it to go straight to YouTube.
Oh, okay.
The second time we used StreamYard, and we're like, oh, it was a mess. We were like messaging people, it's your turn to log in. Because on StreamYard, you can only have 10.
You have 6 people in StreamYard, right?
10.
Oh, now you have to 10?
Yeah, but I think we had a total of like 20 some presenters. So we were like, log out. Log in. And it was a mess. So that's why we haven't done that one again. Soon.
In the Smashdown.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I really like it. It was really good. I learned a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, okay, yeah.
And you've only got 8 anyway.
What'd you say?
You've only got 8 anyway to do, not 20.
Only 8, yeah.
So you could use StreamYard. I mean, StreamYard was nice because everybody shared their screen, and I could just pop it up.
Pop it up, yeah.
Where Meet, it's stop presenting, present. It's like, it was a lot.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to go through that. Like, we probably have to talk to them, the people that want to present. I just say, okay, I'm going to present the slide deck, and then when it comes to your turn, I'm gonna stop sharing, and then you could share your screen and stuff like that. Because I don't know how many teachers want to participate in it, so we'll see how it goes.
Yeah,
I'm a risk taker, so it's kind of like trying to think of the worst thing and then let it ride. Yeah.
Let me know if you do need anything. I do have slide decks for that, and I have our Google Forms if you need any of that.
The thing about it is that I looked at the slide deck that you guys did for the Smash, and it's got like a lot of GIFs and stuff like that. My teachers are not that savvy, so it has a lot of GIFs and a lot of. I don't want to put it's going to be a little too much for my teachers, so I'm just going to go live and just present their tab.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Just have them present their tab and talk about it, what they've done, and then yeah. So I'll do that. So I have a slide deck for. I have a slide deck for that, and just we'll see.
Yeah. And it's nice to have that slide deck for people that want to go back.
Want to go back? Yeah. So do I have it over here? I think I have it. We're recording this.
I know. I should probably stop the recording.
We've got into a whole other conversation.